the tablets and all that, and it's fine. But the real marketing, I think, is done by the community on X and going into these spaces and raiding tweets. I remember back in 2017, right before Chainlink launched, there was the Chainlink bots. They were literally bots, and whenever you posted something, and back then this was like Instagram was a big platform for crypto, believe it or not. Whenever someone posted anything related to crypto on Instagram, straight away you'd get these Chainlink bots talking about, "Have you heard about Chainlink?" And to me, it looked really spammy, and I was just like, "What is this? Is this a scam?" And about 4 months later, Chainlink launched, and it's become the success that it has today. Now, I'm not saying it's due to the bots, but those bot messages got a lot of eyes on Chainlink even before it launched. So if we do the same, we're not bots; we're actually humans, and we're putting these messages on and raiding these tweets. A lot of eyes are going to come to Pulsechain, and once the green candles come, the FOMO kicks in. It's game time.
100%, bro. And that's why, like, as we stand right now, we are kind of waiting for Ethereum to go into price discovery so that our ecosystem could be leveraged on Ethereum. And that's all very beautiful and should happen. But until then, it's up to us to work with what we have and try to increase the user base at the most pivotal moment in time, which is by the time we are trending around all-time lows when it comes to price of all the cores and richer hard stuff. We are close to all-time lows, which means everyone we onboard into Pulsechain, they can really make unbelievable gains. You understand? I know it's
I,
hard to buy a chart that is always going down. It doesn't give you confidence that it's going to change, but I think it can change and very drastically.
so it's not even about like for example me right now, right? I don't think we keep raiding these posts, we keep making noise. I generally don't think people are gonna come over yet. Why? Because people are people. They have a human mindset, right? And they don't
Yeah, I
buy
agree.
something
People
that's
only
red.
it's true, and a good point of that, KR, is like people only really started to believe and follow Solana after Solana did the stratospheric
Exactly.
performance. Yeah,
Exactly. But the point here is not like this here, some people are, but what's the point then? It's pointless. It's not pointless, right? It's you're planting the seed, right? The more you have pulse chain on big X posts, the more you're planting that seed where a normal guy, someone who's in BNB, someone in who's Solana, might not look at it twice, but they'll see 10 times someone's ripped pulse chain, and that will be recognized in the back of their head, right? And then let's just say crypto ran one day. You're seeing pulse chains up 60% on a day. And crypto runs on his little stream or whatever you call it. These guys, oh damn, that's that community that kept raiding. I need to check this out now. These lot are serious. It's about planting the seed now, and then all these people, they will know about pulse chain in the future. So when the green candles do come, when Richard does what he needs to do, I think a lot of these people will be coming over just because of the seed that you've planted in their head about pushing, right? Like, I think that's the main goal here. It's not about, I don't think a lot of these people come over, right? No one was buying gold at $2,000 or $1,000 or $800. People started queuing up outside shops when it was at $4,200, right? And that's exactly the prime example here. Right, we don't need people to come now because eventually we don't want that sell pressure as well, right? Like, I mean, some people will come in, someone might come in with $1 million, buy up as many core coins, and then Richard Hart pumps it at 10x. They've got that's 10 million sell pressure, right? To a certain degree. But it's about planting the seed, in my opinion, right now, as we're currently, doing what we're doing. Because, bro, I don't see no one really coming right now. But it's also a thing of, there's a lot of talk. There was a video yesterday that I watched about layer ones, security, IPFS, decentralization, and Pulse Chain hits every single book, every single tick. So I do think we're going to have our viral moment on social media when Richard comes back. I hope he does come back. I hope he does start streaming. I hope he does start arguing and having debates with people on spaces and going on big spaces, because that's when all eyes will be on Pulse Chain. That's when people realize, oh, this is actual DeFi. Solana is not DeFi. When you go through the statistics of Solana, you understand that Solana is not decentralized in any way possible. You got to look at Polygon. Polygon is VC pack. Ethereum, yeah, for sure. Ethereum is decentralized. You can't compete with Ethereum. But we're not trying to compete with Ethereum. We want the Ethereum guys to rotate once they've made their gains. That's the plan, right? It's not, let's steal the Ethereum guys now, you know? The plan is BTC all time high, ETH all time high, Pulsechain all time high. That's the way I see it personally.
Yeah, 100%. And I did just want to tack on that, add on, I should say, to Panos' point about bots. You know, like we're all humans, and if we tweet with, especially with the pictures, because bots, I haven't seen really, comment under posts with a picture, and so if we do all of that, people will see that we're not, because we see, and maybe they don't believe it, but we see people always commenting that, oh, you're all bots, right? Because we rate so hard, but the more we keep doing this, especially with pictures, people will see that we're not, bots, and that we're real people. And so when they see these gains, yeah, it's the people. It's because the marketing never really works the first time. I forget exactly how many times it is, but it's like a few times at least where people have to see it and then they act upon it. Especially with people like me who are not impulse buyers at all. So it's you got to be a little bit patient, and when the time is right, when people see us, when they see the prices up, and and they see that we're always rating everyone, they're like, oh, so they really are real, like panels, ignore chain link, sorry, panels, people will ignore us and they're gonna regret it and they're gonna FOMO in.
Yeah, you're right, electronics, but that's the normal cycle of how things happen. People buy green candles, right? But if we could be the exception and try to bridge people, users to Pulsechain while we are in ultra wrecked land, there's more value in that than bridging them over when we are going through the moon. That's easy. So that's my point. Like now it's hard to onboard, but if we do onboard, the guys you are onboarding are gonna be happy very shortly, while guys who bought I don't know, who bought Hex close to 50 cents, now they are not so happy. And guys who bought Solid X at $200, now they are not so happy. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, you got a point there. You're gonna have both camps for sure, no matter what you do. Yeah.
But of course, yeah, we cannot do anything if we don't have good momentum. We can spend a lot of money in marketing and time, and to a certain extent, it's gonna be useless because in this crypto space, it's really about green candles because this is a currency competition, and the currencies that have better price performance they win. It's the easiest game in town, and we need to be on the front, on the top 5, top 10 of price performance if we want to win or at least have a chance. It's just the way it is. And I am thankful to Richard Hart, and I want to help him achieve his goals. I am sad that he's been so misjudged by the world at all levels, including mainstream crypto guys or Interpol, like SEC elite kind of stuff going on, trying to like basically what they did was they tried to kill the aura of Richard. Like, oh, this guy is growing too much. He's too powerful, too smart. People are orbitating around him. Let's wreck him and bring him to ashes. And then the guy had to deal with this stuff coming from the alpha predator, not like some random guy. No, it's the number one alpha predator that is chasing him. So then you need to be wise and you need to dodge bullets and you need to go to different places if you want to keep your vision intact and your goals intact. That's what Richard has been trying to do. I think it's not been an easy journey for him, but for sure an exciting one it has been. And I think himself more than anyone wants to pump again everyone else and wants to get the glory and wants to help people, because I think that's who Richard is at his core. He's someone that wants to help people around him and wants to get the glory for doing so. He wants to get the recognition. He wants to be able to say, hey guys, I did this that no one else did it. And this is the kind of people I want to believe in and I want to stay loyal to, because yes, there's a high risk here, but there's also high reward. And proof of that are my actions on the chain, because I had at some point 50 to 70 million dollars liquid on Pulsechain, and I didn't sell too much around that time, and I pumped my own tokens quite a bit. I eventually diluted my sacrafice bag across multiple projects on Pulsechain, including my own tickers, of course. Now, in the end, I put more money in my own tickers than anything else. So what I want you guys to understand is that I'm out here sitting as a decam multi-millionaire on this chain, doing my best to help everyone else and help the chain to become something better and something nicer and bigger. So even though I could just chill down and travel the rest of my life and buy properties and do whatever the fuck I want, I'm still here grinding on the daily like if I was a degen waiting for the 10,000x, because I will only feel ultimately real happy when I see all the community hacks flexing again and flexing all the gains to all the world, and only then it will make sense for me to be happy, because now I'm happy alone, right? Everyone is wrecked, and I'm sitting on the top of the hill, undisputed champion of Pulsechain, aiming for big things, right? But I still don't feel 100% complete. I think I will only feel when everyone that believed in me, everyone that believed in Richard and Pulsechain are happy and doing good stuff. Only then I think I will be complete.
Very shortly, but what are your takes on E-Hex? Like,
I like E-Hex, man. I think it was the first one, and it has value for the simple reason of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is spaghetti code, doesn't have smart contracts. You can't program it to do shit, but it was the first one ever. So there's value in that. And the Hex is also the same situation for Richard. It was the first big creation of Richard in the crypto space. And it's the one that should have like be the first one to pump after Ethereum pumps, I think, because like you were saying, the goal is to, by when Ethereum is pumping, to bridge value from the Ethereum profit holders to Pulsechain. And a good way to do that is having E-Hex pumping, so that the Ethereum guys see, oh, E-Hex is waking up from the dead. And then by coming through E-Hex, they will discover the rest of the Pulsechain world, everything else, what's happening. But I think E-Hex is a good gateway for that. And maybe the parity one-to-one is going to be hard to make, require a lot of capital. But I still believe Richard has that goal, one-to-one goal, long term. Maybe it cannot be done now, but in the long term, I think one-to-one ratio is the goal. For now, we are set to have the P-Hex much more valuable, like 3-1 or 4-1 or 6-1. I don't even know.
yeah, thank you for that.
You got silenced yesterday, famous. You still carrying on, bro. You can't just take the
No,
loss
because
and
no,
move
I'm
on,
sorry.
bro.
I'm sorry. I actually didn't do that to jab or do a shortcut. I actually, because us all talking, my theory is based on exactly what he said. Because I feel like the people that believe in Richard like the way he does, and individuals in his position feel the exact same way, that it is useful, and Richard will not
Ali, stop putting hundred
just
signs before it
abandon
exposes how
something
much E-Hex, yeah.
and
Man,
then just
Hex is Hex,
abandon
bro.
something and not make it useful. Like there's, and Richard always makes things more useful. So like I don't know. Thank you, Firewell, for that, because at least people could listen to someone who really truly, you know,
You're
we
doing
got the
literally
fruits.
the opposite of what Richard Hart is saying. Literally the opposite. Richard Hart is saying stop dividing the community economically, right? If we all focus on P-Hex, E-Hex will pump. That's what we need to understand. He literally states it in tweets. P-Hex will bring the price of E-Hex up. Like it's he states it in tweets. Why are we fighting against it? I'm confused.
I'm not. I'm just saying you need to believe in E-Hex more, because I
I
think
believe
it's
what
gonna make.
Richard
I
himself
think
typed on
E-Hex on
tweets.
Pulse Chain will always be good for Pulse Chain.
Is Hex.
So it's just it has a purpose, right? It has this. P-Hex is not going to siphon anything from Ethereum. A Pulse Hex is never going to siphon Ethereum. Ink is definitely never going to siphon from Ethereum.
Yeah, exactly. But both the hexes are good. I just see it more as crypto scales, like at the macro level,
Of course,
and
bro.
richer hard stuff becomes more popular.
But
I
this
will
is what
see
I've
the
said all the
E-Hex
time.
has the wait, care. The E-Hex will be the rich boy game, because the E-Hex, to stake it, you will need to pay unbelievable amounts of fees when ETH price is high. And then on Pulsechain, the fees are going to be much cheaper, so the people can make their stakes there. That's the way it should be, unless the Ethereum launches like an update where the fees go down 100x in price, and then it becomes another story.
Yeah, for sure. But like all I'm saying here is I do not think that E-Hex is not going to pump. E-Hex is going to pump tremendously. You have to understand as well, right? It's just speculation. People who do ratios. People who look smart, people who will see a ratio go down 6 to 1 and will rotate their P-Hex into E-Hex, and then it will go back up to 3 to 1 and they'll rotate back. That's free money, right? And you will also get people once P-Hex actually starts running. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, Richard Hart starts injecting capital into Pulsechain, right? Like he's done in the past, like he's done recently. What we will see is the speculators on Ethereum or speculators all over. If Richard Hart came back and started preaching and started going on spaces and coming out of his shell and talking in regards to his chain, his products, what we will see is speculators buying E-Hex. E-Hex on Ethereum has not got a lot of liquidity. It does not take a lot to pump it. So you have insane pumps on E-Hex 100%. I totally agree with you. But to me personally, my whole ethos here is why don't we just get together as a community and we shill P-Hex, right? P-Hex is on Pulse Chain. When anyone comes over to Pulse Chain, let's just say we all shill P-Hex and people come onto Pulse Chain and they buy P-Hex, technically speaking, they are buying PLS. Technically speaking, they are rising the price of everything on the chain, not just on Ethereum. Right, Richard Hart stated in countless tweets recently, he wants people to come over to Pulse Chain. Right, he wants people to buy on Pulse Chain. He literally made a comment to someone in regards to you buying the E-Hex on Ethereum, you're feeding the AMM bot and you're paying extreme gas fees. You coming over to Pulse Chain and buying P-Hex, you're raising the price of PLS. You're bringing more value to PLS. That's all my point here. I don't think E-Hex is dead at all. Completely wrong. I do not think. I think E-Hex will have its turns. 100%. I think E-Hex and P-Hex will have their turns. Speculators will trade. It's always going to happen. But my whole thing here, the only thing that confuses me is that we have two separate communities in one community. When I think we should all team up together, show what's actually valuable. What do we want more? Do we want E-Hex to pump more? Do we want our bags on Pulse Chain? Do we want Solid X to go up? Do we want X Game to go up? Do we want PLS to go up? PLSX, Inc, Hex? Do we want everything to go up, or do we just want E-Hex on Ethereum to go up? And the funny
Understand,
thing
bro.
is, Richard
Bro,
Hart literally stated that if P-Hex goes up, it brings the value of E-Hex up as well.
Same with
that's
E-Hex,
what I was
vice
gonna say
versa.
because
No,
if
it's not.
yes, no, it's vice versa as well, KR. That's what I was gonna say because there's also a ratio between E-Hex and P-Hex, and if even if Reacher doesn't affect that ratio, don't you think some guys will, if there's a E-Hex pump, they will sell some E-Hex for P-Hex if the ratio is in balance? Of course they will.
Yeah, for sure.
So it
Me,
doesn't matter
people like me. Yeah,
if you buy any
100%.
Richer Hard ticker, it's already good. You're inside. That's any Richer Hard ticker should work as one that go up and down together in unison, in theory, but it's not the current situation. But besides that, KR, yeah, I get what you're feeling. And Richard was public saying like, guys, P-Hex is the real hex because I created Pulse Chain just for Hex to get better fees. And it should be the priority and the most important hex for sure.
But Philo, it's not me saying that E-Hex is not going to pump. I don't think E-Hex is dead at all. I think E-Hex will outperform P-Hex at certain points. I think P-Hex will outperform E-Hex at certain points. But my point here is we want people to come over to Pulse Chain, right? And yes, you'll have your traders who will swap and blah, blah, blah. But is it not more valuable if the people just come over to Pulse Chain and actually started using the chain itself? Is it not more valuable in that regard? In my
Yeah, I
opinion, it
agree.
is.
It's more than just, for example, buying E-Hex, take it for 15 years and forget about it. Like, no, I think it's better to interact with Pulse Chain 100%. Bro.
Exactly, because then people understand there's a whole ecosystem. There's a big community, but there's so many divides in the community in regards to, you have your Solid X community, you have your PTGC community, you even have your pdai community, which I don't really like to talk about, but there's still a community, and they come over here and they realize, wow, there's so many coins, there's so much different stuff over here. They can earn on LPs, and there's so much different opportunities actually on Pulse Chain. To me, that's more beneficial personally than for people just to go, okay, let's buy E-Hex, and then the traders will just rotate, and then the traders will rotate back. Some guys will literally dump it and waste that economic energy. Like I feel like it's just a vice versa kind. I do get your point completely, But to me, I want more people on Pulsechain. I want more people understanding what Pulsechain is. I want more people to see how decentralized Pulsechain is, how much better Pulsechain is than many other chains, right? And that's the whole goal here, is to get people on Pulsechain, because the more people we have on
I
Pulsechain,
will tell
the
you.
bigger our badge
I
get.
will tell you the number one reason why I think what you are saying makes sense, in my opinion. Also, even more, I mean, is because E-Hex already had its glory, its moment of glory in time, and Pulsechain not so much, and P-Hex not so much. If you check the P-Hex chart, since it was forked on Pulsechain, it's kind of a wreck chart as well, nothing special. And that's
Yeah.
where the opportunity lies, I think, on the Pulsechain side for sure. Because on E-Hex, we already did unbelievable things, and on Pulsechain, not yet. So there you go. One of the main points, I think.
I just want to add something to this conversation. Maybe Firewell's not considering the point I keep making to everyone about E-Hex and perpetuating both hexes as we go forward. It's basically a stock split. If you want success in Pulse Chain Hex, you'd rather see everybody migrate to it. Perpetuating E-Hex, though, it's bonded in liquidity on chain. And basically, all we're looking at is more inflation down the road. You can look at this situation as the same thing with the pdai minting. The more liquidity we give it, the more sell pressure we give to the chain. Full stop.
Exactly.
That's my whole point.
100%.
I don't like it. Like it's not this. It doesn't benefit us at all. It benefits the people that want to shill it, that
Yeah,
still
but
have
that's why
bags and
I
won't let them
suggested
go,
that
and the guys that
Maverick.
have stakes.
Maverick, that's why I
Yeah,
suggested
sure.
Richard Hart to fork Pulsechain and make the P copies Pulsechain Classic, and make a new Pulsechain without the copies, and then you remove the hole kind of in the system that is draining the system, like pdai and any other forked PRC20 from Ethereum that end up have counterparty risk and exploits and minting functions and all this kind of crap. So that's the only downside of that I see with Pulsechain growing too much, is will perhaps open doors for these P copies to become vulnerabilities. But I hope the devs, Richard Hart and the devs, have a good plan for this, because at least they had many months to plan it and execute in the best way. I don't know all the details, so I need to believe their judgment and believe they're gonna do the right things. Let's see what happens, boys.
Yeah, but yeah, the way it should have been done is a migration, not a stock split. No, hey, you get both copies of both. We get double sell pressure on the chain. It should have been like, here, turn in
I
your
agree.
E-Hex to get the B-Hex. It should have been a simple migration. What choose
Yeah,
which one you want, right?
I tend to agree, because you saw, like, for example, since the very beginning, you had two Bitcoin copies, like Litecoin and Dogecoin. They were both forks of Bitcoin, and eventually they end up not being so successful like the original, right? And that was always kind of my main thought about the P copies, but I felt, I know, maybe few P copies will be successful. And that's why I bought loads of pdai, P-Ave, P-Pepe, P-Paxos Gold, I bought like 15 Ps of like thousands of dollars each, because I was, giving the benefit of the doubt to Richard and believing in it. But then over time, as we start to see these problems coming with pdai, which funnily enough was the most successful copy by far, was also the one that had more risk and vulnerabilities and bullshit going on. And then you had a community of hardcore believers that didn't want to give up on the dream, and some of them still don't. And they are basically fueling their life energy, economic energy, into the whole of pdai or into the Vietnamese exploiter Maria Midget Rahel bags.
People are entitled to believe what they want, but me personally, I'm going to go via what Richard Hart has been saying even recently. Whether I'm stupid for doing that, whether I'm an idiot, and whether, yes, it was at a 10-to-1 ratio and it went to a 3-to-1 ratio. Amazing opportunity for people to accumulate more P-Hex, for sure. But my whole thesis is I'm going off what Richard Hart says. As simple as that.
We were going full speed, and then and right now there's like a little bump in the road with the U.S. Postal Service, so it kind of stopped for a bit. We just unloaded 2 more containers that arrived yesterday and the day before, so there's like hundreds of thousands of tablets sitting there to get processed at the moment, and RG and SJ are working literally every day around the clock to get things going. There's a lot more that goes into it than just putting stickers on envelopes. They have to do all the back work and contracts with the postal service and dealing with all kinds of stuff that is really like not fun, I would say, and putting their time and money into it. So the spirit is very good. Like everybody, as I said, comes there and wants to help out. Everybody's donating their time, driving from far away. I mean, we have people coming from Ohio, driving down here, staying for a whole week, helping out around the clock. And it's long days. It's like starting at 7 in the morning, going until 9 o'clock at night. So it's not that people are just like hanging out and smoking and you know what. So it's really working all day. But the spirits are so great. Like everybody is in a. It's like not like work. It doesn't really feel like work, even though you work all day. I don't know if that makes sense in that way. So because the mood is so good, the spirits are so high, and the conversations are great. And yeah. Anyway, did I answer your question?
Yeah, amazing, amazing. Have you guys had any communication with Richard Hart? Is that something you guys don't want to answer?
Oh, well, I did not have a conversation with Richard Hart. Is that good enough?
Yeah, so yeah, I get it. No problem. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
No worries, no worries. So, Claudia, I was trying to understand. First of all, I like your attitude, but are you behind the tablets like delivery? Is that what you're talking about, or something else?
No, so the tablets come in from overseas in big containers, and they need to be processed for shipping with the United States Postal Service. And so, yeah, and so we have like a location here in Southern California where the containers arrive. That's what just happened over the last 2 days, and we have to unload thousands of boxes and put them into storage there. And then they need to be labeled. So there's like those little stick-on labels have to be put on and packaged in a certain way so that the United States Postal Service accepts them.
Accepts. Yeah. I saw all the pictures with the labels and stuff. I didn't
Yeah.
know you were doing that. Good work. I see you are very active, even on Telegram, always supportive and stuff.
Yeah,
and
no, I'm
X game to $1. No, I was saying, and X game to $1. I think you bought a bag, no?
Of course I did. Yes, I bought a bag. I don't have as many millions as you do, unfortunately, but my small money I put in.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I like her mindset. I like the way she thinks about things, and yeah, big ups to her for helping with the shipping of the tablets. And yeah, and same goes for anyone that's putting in work for the chain for their own bags. So yeah, respects.
Yeah, this is very important work because it's like voluntary, someone needs to do it from the community, and they are choosing to do it from their own will and good intention, and like she was saying, signing NDAs and stuff to make sure there's no problems to affect the chain. That's so respectable, and yeah, we need more of that for sure.
Well, I think our strategy that's just been taken off the last couple of weeks. Not. I don't want to include myself because you guys are doing the work. You guys are the communicators, but I'm really starting to believe in this too, man. Like reaching out in the other spaces, reaching out to other communities with engagement. As far as like Giga was saying yesterday, visuals, and your posts, and your tags, and that's like us doing our part. I think it might just be, and just like how Richard commented yesterday, or at least we're suspecting that directly, like when we were talking about certain points from last night's space. I think that could have just as much influence as the tablets. So, but this is the thing about everybody doing their part, not just echo chambering, sitting on your bags, like pump it, Richard, cry fagging, like just do something,